Good morning, Kitchen Witches. Today is Monday, July 6th, and this is your tarot and menu inspiration for the day. I'm Chef Lisa, editor-in-chief of A Chef's Grimoire magazine. We're going to pick one card from the tarot deck, and that's going to be everything we need to know for the day. Now, if you've been with me for a while, thank you. And if you're just tuning in, I used a version of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck because there's a lot of new tarot readers these days, or tarot enthusiasts, right? And they're learning the cards for the first time. And it's wonderful to find a deck that resonates with you. But if it's a deck that's maybe like the Thoth deck or some artist's interpretation of what the card should be, it's kind of setting you up to fail when you're a beginner. Because they're much more difficult to read. The Rider-Waite-Smith decks are universal, right? So all the other decks that have come after that, and they were created, the Rider-Waite-Smith deck was created in 1909. So all the other decks that came after that are renditions of that deck, just in a more artistic way. So why not start where the general meanings are before you move on to the other decks? That's just my personal opinion. So we're working with Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Arthur Waite created the vision for the major arcana in this deck, and Pamela Coleman Smith did all of the illustrations. So as collaborators, Arthur Waite was very focused on the major arcana. Why? Because prior to 1909, tarot decks were drawn with their major arcanas, but the minor arcanas were usually just the suit, like a deck of playing cards where you have the aces or the clovers, or all those different things with playing cards. They weren't depicted, the minor arcana. Pamela Coleman Smith took it upon herself to depict them, to put pictures to them, so that the meanings are a little easier to understand. So that's huge. And that was 1909, 1910, right? Now we have a gillion tarot decks, all interpreted by the artist, which is fantastic, and they're all beautiful. But know that when you're learning tarot, the best place to start is with a Rider-Waite-Smith deck version. Right. So with that said, we are moving on to what is our card of the day. What inspiration is it going to give us, and what meals are we going to make with it? That's the fun part. Okay, let's see what we've got. July 6th. Ready? Yeah. All right. The Hanged Man. The Hanged Man. A major arcana. So it is the card, it's number 12. It's the card right after Justice and right before the Devil. So this is introspection, right? Yesterday we had the Seven of Pentacles, and that's a rest period. And there's many rest periods within the tarot deck. There's many cards that represent a pause. But this card, number 12, is really deeply taking a introspective step back, only to propel you forward, but you really have to take time out. You can see that as it's depicted, that's my Penelope pussycat. You can see as it's depicted, we've got a individual hanging upside down by one foot. The other foot is crossed. So as depicted, if you turn this around, you can see the legs are forming a 4, like the number 4, which we know is the emperor and its structure, right? So there, maybe prior to getting to this state, their world was just all over the place, right? And uncontrollable. And now they're in an introspective pause, deep mental collective of thoughts, putting themselves back into a structural state where they're building a foundation that then can transform them, basically. Now, numbered 12, 1 is the magician, 2 is the high priestess. So we've got all that going on in here, right? We add 1 plus 2, and 1 plus 2 equals 3, right? Which is the empress. So we've got all of that energy going on here. And number 12, it means that the Fool's Journey already is well into the second line of the major arcana. First line is the first 7 cards from the Magician to the Chariot. And the second line, and that's all about consciousness, right? Being very conscious of who you are, what you are, your world around you. Then we move into the second line where our Hanged Man lives, and that's all about the subconscious. So now we're asking questions. Now we're, questioning thoughts that we never thought, never did before, right? We're really learning the inside now because we have a good grasp on the outside. So the Hanged Man is literally tapping in to the subconscious to course correct. You've just come from justice. So justice laid down the law, and you now either are in a state where you're like, oh yeah, I did mess up, or oh yeah, I really do need to look at that and change that. Or, the justice is going to do something major, right? To bring you to a state where you need time to think about it. Before you move into the devil, who shows you clear as day what the issues are. And then, having thought about it, you move into the devil and you say, yeah, I do want to remove those chains. Or in this state, you've decided, you know what? I'm going to keep those chains on me a little longer. So this is a heavy card. It's a major, so all majors are kind of heavy. But it has all of that energy in it. And it's really taking a retrospective, introspective look at what's going on within your world. Just hang upside down. It's a new perspective, right? So you're going to emerge with a brand new, not rose-colored glasses. Maybe you had those on going into this state, but now you've removed them. So everything is crystal clear, right? Or at least it should be. So it's a new perspective. And that's where we're going to go when we bring our Hanged Man into the kitchen. But before that, I think for today, I don't want, you certainly can begin the individual journey of the Hanged Man today, if that's something you need to do. But if it's just for today, maybe you think about, laws that are in place that maybe you want to change, or laws and I'm talking stepping back to the major arcana prior to the Hanged Man is justice. So that's what really propels this whole process, this cocoon to start. So what happened or what is about to happen that you can step back and really take a moment to gain a new understanding about. It could be a law in place you want to change. So you have to think about how you're going to get everybody on board with that. It could be literally the law coming down on you. And do you want to go to jail or don't you? This is the time to think about that. And how can you correct it? That's like really, getting down to the platforms of what this all is. But it could be anything. It's a deep, heavy card, so we don't want to keep all of its energy weighted on us today, but it's time to think, right? It came up for a reason. So, again, bringing this card, the Hanged Man, into the kitchen, we're going to think about new perspectives on food. So, I'm thinking, right? Let me just, hold on, let me get this up here. Okay. So, new perspectives on food. So, for breakfast, baked oatmeal. Okay, yeah, boring, I get it. But what if, instead of baked oatmeal, you make them into oatmeal breakfast cookies? Bang zoom. Turning that whole meal around, upside down, into something else that everybody's gonna love. So there's recipes online for this, guys, for both the baked oatmeal and the breakfast cookies. Both are delicious breakfasts. So grab yourself one and turn what maybe is your go-to. Maybe baked oatmeal is what you do every Sunday morning. And your family's like, oh, baked oatmeal again? Well, today's the day. Turn it around. Breakfast cookies for everybody. Lunch. Burger and fries. Yes, boring, right? But loved. Everybody loves a good burger. Everybody loves French fries. Let's turn it around. Let's make a cheeseburger salad, right? So lettuce, all the accoutrements, your cucumber, red onion, tomato, whatever you like in your salad. You've got your burgers. Maybe you grilled them yesterday, right? You have leftovers. Crumble them up on top of the salad. And then, if you wish, I wouldn't do it, but you could take those French fries that you saved, pop them in the air fryer. They go on top of the salad. Everything could go on top of the salad. No, I'm not gonna judge you in any way. And then you make a lovely dressing. So you can make a blue cheese dressing, which is nice. Buy it in a jar, perfectly fine. If you make it from scratch, an extra gold star. You could do, any salad dressing. I wouldn't call for an acidic one. I'd call for a more creamy one, like a blue cheese, as we said, maybe ranch, maybe Thousand Island, something like that, creamy. You could even do avocado with sour cream, right over the salad. Delicious. It's creamy. It's going to add to the loveliness of your cheeseburger salad. Oh, and cheese, yes. So there you go. Flipping a burger and fries into something a little more healthy and different. A cheeseburger or a hamburger salad. For dinner. Shrimp scampi, but I'm going to turn it on its head in two ways. So shrimp scampi, love. Everybody loves it, right? You could serve that with rice and a veg. Great. Maybe that's your standard, but let's turn it on its head. So let's do a shrimp scampi casserole, where it's just built in a casserole dish, right? You can do that. Put your rice in there, the shrimp cooks, you've got the garlic, you've got the wine, you've got everything you need into just a casserole versus doing everything separate. That's one way of having a new perspective on an old traditional dish. The other way is to do shrimp scampi tacos. So you make the shrimp scampi as you normally would, but instead of serving it with rice and a veg, maybe you do taco shells, hard or soft, and the lettuce, of course, is there, right, to put on top, and you do all the accoutrements for tacos, right? It doesn't have to be salsa. You can go in like a, almost like a bruschetta. Why don't you do a bruschetta, which is nothing more than tomatoes, garlic, basil, olive oil, chopped up fine, and you put that on top of the shrimp scampi instead of salsa. So you're staying with the Italian theme, but just making it into something different. A new perspective, right? With a hanged man. Yeah. So I hope that gives you inspiration for the day. I hope it gives you something to think about. And until tomorrow, nourish yourself. Nourish those around you with all your kitchen magic. I'll see you tomorrow.